This is the Gender Roles Talk Show here with Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Nice to meet you guys.
My name is Connor. Be the tacos today. All right. So my first question for you, Brandon, is how do you feel about bands that use their appearance to catch the audience attention? So male, female, if you're using their sex appeal in any kind of way, how do you feel about that?
Excuse my phone. I, as much as it is eye candy, I think people shouldn't focus on that aspect. I think that people should just they should acknowledge the fact that they're pursuing their dreams and making music, no matter what gender they are.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's a big factor because that's what they. I don't think people go into bands saying, "Oh, I'm just going to use my looks and that's all I care about is just my looks." Obviously, that does help. It does help get you somewhere. Like, for example, I don't know. Let's just say Kiss. They all have their uniform and
their stage getup.
Yeah, so like obviously it does help, but I think the main focus should be on the music.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So to reiterate the question is, how do you feel about bands that use their appearance to catch the audience attention? So in my own personal experience being in a band, I thought it was really interesting. Any showcase or act that had a female member definitely had a bigger crowd draw. It was definitely a thing being a female in a band, just creating that controversy.
And I had experience with that too. I had a lead vocalist and she was a female. She was a female vocalist, and obviously people paid more attention.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but like I said before, I don't think people should focus on that aspect.
Yeah, definitely. I agree that people should pay attention to music and enjoy it to that factor.
Yeah, you know what I hate a lot? Like people like Ariana Grande and stuff, where they don't. It's all about them, and people don't care about like the drummer, the bass player, the guitar. It's just all about them, and no one pays attention to them. That's what I hate.
Yeah, definitely sound about here for sure. So Brandon, how do you feel about female members getting more attention than the male members do in a band or set act?
I don't like that one person gets all the attention. I feel like the whole band should get the equal amount of attention. Because you're in a band, not I don't know how to call it, but
performance act.
Yeah, everyone needs to get their credit for what they're doing.
Yeah, of course. They're all contributing members.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's how I feel about that.
Definitely. So Brandon, have you ever seen a performance like that had a female member and you were just so attracted to her or just memorized whatever that you just didn't pay attention to the rest of the music or any other member? Has that ever happened to you?
All right. So I went to this one show before and it wasn't even like the headlining act. It was I didn't even know this. It was a duo between like a DJ and a drummer, and it was the coolest thing ever. And the drummer was a chick, and me being a drummer myself, like I was just totally into her. Like I wanted to go up there and like introduce myself. Like, so yeah, I'm guilty of that, but it happens.
Definitely. All right, Brandon, it was really nice having you on today's talk show. I appreciate your time. And
thanks for having me.
It was nice seeing you. All right, so today we got Brandon Alberto on today's talk show. How you doing?
Hey, Connor. Thanks for having me. I'm pretty good. Just enjoying the day.
Same, man. All right, Brandon. What do you think about women being receptionists at a studio? Do you think it's right that a woman should be a receptionist or someone along those lines and not an actual audio engineer or someone on the field?
I think generally, I think it really depends because, like, maybe you have to start off as a receptionist to go up the ladder and stuff like that. I'm sure it's a lot harder for women, especially in the audio industry, because it's male dominant or something like that's a boys club or whatever. That's what they say. But honestly, I think they can surprise us even more than we can surprise them. You know
definitely,
what I mean?
They definitely pay attention more than us. Why do you? Okay, so in my own experience, I've noticed a lot of females getting receptionist jobs. Do you think it's because of sex appeal? Do you think it's because they're a woman and they're more friendly, more nice, or something along those lines?
Generally speaking, when people are hiring, for receptions, they want someone who's happy and welcoming and stuff like that. So I'm sure it just depends really for like. Fuck. I lost where I was gonna go right there.
Tight.
My thought went flying.
All right, let's go on the next question. So, do you think that being an audio engineer is a man's or woman's position?
I think it's both, and honestly, I think it derives with on opinion, like because not this being an audio engineer is not for everyone, to be honest. Cause
Yeah, definitely.
you have to have an ear for it. You have to just love music, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very work intensive. It's a lot of it is
you have to have a drive to go for this. So honestly, it's not for everyone, but if a woman or a man like apply for the same job, they have the same rights to that job. You know what I mean? So honestly, I think it's a good thing for women to come into the position, and men too. You know
to
what I mean?
create diversity.
Yeah, diversity too. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter skin, genitalia, whatever.
I think that concludes our conversation today. Thank you for having on our show today, Brendan.
Thank you.
Welcome back to General Rules Live. How are you doing today, Antonio?
Good, and you?
All right, I'm doing all right, man. What is a few issues that you've dealt with in today's societies on a daily basis concerning you being disabled?
Well, pretty much the normal thing that you deal with in life is people just staring or pretty much pointing, or little kids just pointing at me, or
Yeah, that's messed up.
yeah, that's all right.
So, being a disabled male, do you feel you have to act a certain way to prove your masculinity?
Sometimes I do, but it depends on where I'm at or what I'm doing. So, like in the gym, I kind of have to be that guy to hold his chest up high to prove that I could do my workout. I could do my
Yeah, you're just as good as anyone
Yeah.
else.
I can bench press. I can do anything. I can run. So pretty much, I can do anything that the other person's doing in the gym or anything else. You know, it doesn't mean just because I'm crippled doesn't mean it's gonna stop me from doing what I love.
Yeah, of course, man. That's great. It's definitely a great trait to have. All right. So, has being disabled stopped you from doing anything masculine, or even for example, like going to the fair and you wanted to do a fucking little bouncy thing that drops you off or something crazy like that? Has that stopped you?
Not quite. It has stopped me like a little bit. Just think about it if I'm gonna get hurt or anything, but nah. Pretty much, I'm cool with it.
Has any organizations stopped you from doing anything because you're disabled in like scenarios like that?
Probably those situations to get myself in place to be able to have that type of fun or anything like that. It'll take me some time to deal with it, but I can do it.
Awesome. So everyone just generally gives you free will to do what you want?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you have any instances where you haven't been allowed to do something because you are disabled?
Probably like a roller coaster ride or anything like that.
So Antonio, in your personal experience, do you feel like you have a lesser chance being a male and being disabled versus someone who's not disabled and being a male trying to date a female?
Yeah, there's some points that, like, from my point of view, sometimes I see some females would treat me in a different way than a regular that doesn't have a disability. So yeah, it has a lot of points in not to in the dating world of being disabled. So yeah, it has a issue with it. So but that's again to that question, I have to prove my masculinity. So it kind of falls into that role again.
Gotcha. Thanks for the input.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Antonio. I appreciate you coming on today's show. Of
All right, thank you.
course. All right. Welcome back to General Roles Live. Today we have Pyro.
What's up, dude?
Do you think men should follow all the masculine qualities, being in the army?
Yeah. There's a certain, soldier quality that you gotta have a mentality for it, man.
Just maintain
like
it.
that masculine, strong, it's an image kind of thing.
Do you feel any pressure to maintain being masculine in that kind of setting?
I don't think it's pressure because everybody's doing it. So
Oh, okay,
I think
so
it's more like you're part of everybody else.
Gotcha. How about being outside the army? Has anything changed in how you feel about being masculine, or have you kind of calmed down a bit from it?
Probably just a little bit. Don't take it as serious.
Gotcha. How do you feel about them building your masculinity, just being in the army and just structuring you like that?
Like, what do you mean by that question?
Because I would assume coming into the army that you're not Mr. Macho Man, a masculine and stuff. How do you feel about them building you in that kind of way?
Well, I think it's definitely the point of it. It's like you said, like the structure. You're going through basic training to become that soldier. You're going from one point to another. That's the transition point.
Gotcha. What do you think are the pros and cons of that being really masculine, or even them building you in that way? Being in the army and stuff. Has it helped you in any way?
Probably just trying to get a point across. And I guess when you're trying to be tough and shit, people take you more serious.
No, I can definitely see that.
Than if you're being a little bitch or something. I don't know.
Do you think there's, in your opinion, any cons about being in that situation?
About being masculine or about?
Yeah, just being in the army, just shaping you into a more masculine person. Any disadvantages?
I don't think cons is it like a word to say for that. Like, because they're obviously teaching you some sort of structure, so that they're teaching you something.
Gotcha. How do you feel about women carrying guns versus men? I heard that's a very controversial topic.
As long as they can shoot it, man. I think you got to know how to use the gun.
Definitely, yeah.
I don't think it just should matter if you're a chick or a dude.
Yeah, definitely. I believe in equality. All right, Pyro, thank you for coming on
Cool.
today's show.
Have a good day, Connor.
All right, welcome back to General Roles Live. Today we have Sam on the set today.
Hi.
All right, Sam. So, do you feel that you're held to the same standards as men in the military?
Yes. My biggest thing is that's the whole point. As soon as you join the military, women do join the military to be considered equal as men do. Like, we're there for the same reasons as far as I'm there to fight for my country. And if a man can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah,
There's a chance, not saying that women will do it better, but we put that in our head as far as just to give ourselves a boost up so men won't talk down on us. And it gives us a boost as far as you know what, they can do it, you can do it. And it's all about equality.
So in that environment, do you guys just talk down on women in the military?
Let's see. I lived in Japan back in 2008, and I was told by one of my Marines he was of a rank that was considered younger than me, and he just got in my face and was like, "You don't deserve to be in my Marine Corps."
Oh my god.
And I remember thinking, I'm like, dude, I was here before you, but that's cool. That's your opinion, but I'm here to do what something I decided I was gonna do, since I was 10. So it's.
How'd you handle that situation?
I let it go. I have very thick skin, and I'm not you can talk shit all you want to. I'm just gonna let it roll off my back. We're here to do the same job, and I'm here honestly for a paycheck. And if my name gets picked out, hey, you're going to war, then fucking, you better be my best friend because I have your back regardless of what you said to me.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. How is your general role affected during and after military? Have you felt more masculine or dominant during the military or after?
My biggest thing is in the military, no one believes like whenever I go out, say we would go out on a Friday night and you're not in your uniform, you actually get to be dressed up and look normal. And being out of the military, I get told that there's no way that you served in the military. And even then, like going out to a club and say a man would approach and just be like, oh my God, let me buy you a drink. And then try to get into like, what do I do for a living? And I would tell them I was in the military and they were just like, no, there's no way.
So being in the military, have men seen you differently? Because obviously I would assume being in the military has built a bit of masculinity traits in you. Have people seen you differently? Has it affected you in a bad way, just being a bit more voiced or dominant?
They know that we're not going to take a lot of shit as far as like, say, women who weren't in the military and say they're in an abusive relationship. And a lot of women cowered and just, oh my God, he beats me, but I love him. And he does this because he loves me. And I was my first ever marriage I was in. I was 19 and I was abused. Like he didn't care that I was in the military or not. Like I was his equal, but just not in that aspect of man and woman kind of thing. Like dealing with men outside of the military as far as being, and they don't understand that like I can take whatever shit you put in my face. Like you can talk shit, I can talk shit just as quick.
So it sounds like a pro.
Yeah. And
more
so
so.
as far as cons, like I haven't really noticed anything or like even try to think of like what a con would be as far as like being in versus being out.
Gotcha. Sounds pretty positive.
Yeah.
So other females in the military branches, how would they interact with you? Because I can imagine just a lot of like, you know, I can see like multiple personalities from dominance to being kind of a coward to just, you know, the whole mess.
A lot of it's very rare to find women in different branches who get along because everyone, it's the same in the military as it is outside the military. Every girl feels that they need to compete with whoever. And that's how it is with Marines versus Army or anything like that. We do consider, or we would like to consider ourselves that we are held to a higher standard. And so we do like to see ourselves as better. So not going to lie.
How do you feel about men carrying guns versus women?
Equal opportunity as far as if I have to go out and say I'm in a combat zone and my battle buddy happens to be a male or even a female, like you got me, I got you, like just fucking aim straight and don't fuck up. That's all I got. One shot, one kill. That's all I got.
Have any of the males have been scared just because you're a female, or maybe just looking down on you because you're a female, and just, you know, for example, saying like you don't know how to hold a weapon because you're a female, or any of those instances?
Right. Yeah, well, not as far as like when I was in the military. They already know that we all did go through the same training. So when I was there and we would have rifle range week, there wasn't a guy who was just like, oh, better shoot straight. Like, oh no, look out, like a girl has a gun.
Yeah.
But I recently went to the range maybe like 2 weeks ago, and my friend's buddy was out there and he invited him, and he was just like, oh, well, this is how you hold a rifle. And I was like, you forgot, like I was in the military, like
of course.
I did serve my time, like I was trained how to do this, like and so I did get offended. Like I was just kind of pissed off because the guys know me for like a year and I'm just like, where did you think I was?
Offensive.
Yeah. So I was just kind of irritated, but just let it go and then put him to shame on the range. So
Gotcha. All right, this is Gender Roles. Thank you for coming, Sam. I appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in.
Gender roles! Gender roles!
We're live with Gender Roles. All right, fuck that up. Okay, all right.
Gender roles!
why is that hard for you to fucking say? Like,
Because I'm on the spot.
Hi, this is the Gender Rules Live.
So, are you really disabled?
What the fuck, man? Like, come on, yeah.
Because they're actually reference your chest.
Yo, I think this is alopecia. Like, I like them apples. I don't give apples away for free.
bye.
Fucking Sam.
I'm like, do you want me to be like, should be like,
The Miss America shit.
the ugly white girl wave is what I call it. Oh my god, are my feet dirty? Probably.
Have a good day, Connor.
Fuck, dude.
Good job, though. That was good.